Here comes the truth to heal. The most amazing element of truth is that there is not 1 second of judgment in the truth of love. And love is all that there is. Self-judgment is where the pain comes from. Believing unconsciously we judge ourselves before we will be judged. It's like making a disparaging joke about yourself before you're afraid somebody else may make one. These are the lies of the ego. But truth, love, is all that is reverberating through the universe. It isn't easily accepted because the world that everyone incarnates into, the world of separation, is so not the truth of love that it's all based on rules and hurdles. Hurdles that seem to be put in place that says, okay, you think you got through that one, now here's another one. And now the stakes go up, the levels go up. It's a vicious game that's been put in place. And everyone, in some way, because of the self-loathing within, the self-hatred within, is complicit in the rules. The rules become a substitute for sacred truth. Rules become held as sacred. And sometimes there's a place of questioning those rules, but that's shot down pretty quickly. Those are the rules, follow the rules, and add your own rules to even drive yourself more crazy. And those rules do drive everybody crazy because they have no love in them. They're not truth. They're totally fabricated, as if everyone is in a movie like The Dark Side of the Wizard of Oz, making separations and liking this but not liking that, identifying with this but not accepting that. Likings, I like this, I don't like that. And it's all to make fear and doubt and affirm separation. But the truth is still the center of the universe. Love is still the center of the universe. Forgiveness is only an element that has been brought into manifestation because of judgment. But there is nothing to ask of God in the name of forgiveness. Only to cleanse the mind and the heart of all erroneous perceptions of separation. The games of separation can be cruel and somewhat vicious because everyone is convinced that there's danger. It's somewhat like being followed by your own shadow. You know, you're followed by a shadow that keeps up with you, moves where you move. And let's say you're walking somewhere, and by the time you get to where you're walking, you're telling someone, I was followed the whole way over here. I couldn't tell who it was, but I was followed. It was menacing, not realizing it's your own shadow. To cleanse of the shadows, to reject the judgment, and to accept that there is no judgment in God, is to begin that road of healing and to finally accept there is no judgment in God, so there cannot be judgment in me. I can't abide it because it's not the truth. There doesn't need to be any judgment about yourself, about others, about how things unfold, how things should be, but just acceptance and trust that you can't be hurt. Every beloved has to come to a place where that is acceptable. I can't be hurt. When the ego doesn't rise up immediately with that statement and say, that's not true. I've been hurt plenty. But at a final point, there is the realization that all the hurt has come from the mind. And it can be released now. It can be healed. Because it doesn't have any purpose. It doesn't have any power except the power that we give it. Healing is very courageous. It isn't difficult in and of itself, but because of fear and because of resistance and because of doubt, it can become difficult. To remember every day, all day, that I can let go, I can trust, I can walk with God. And I must love. In all of that embrace, healing becomes so much easier. In this world, beloveds everywhere are struggling with illusion, struggling with being right, being wrong, justifications. And in this moment, we call each beloved in the universe to come into this heart and rest with God, where you truly belong. The truth of God is in every beloved, and that is the saving grace and the cleanser of all that has been carried for lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. The grace of God is your heart. And the mind is God's mind to be returned. Every day, remember all the beloveds in this world that are struggling, and hold them, even if it's just for a moment, that they're not alone, they're not without, and that they are right here in the heart of love, in the truth. And as you expand and hold that for everyone, you feel more connected, you will feel more connected, you will feel the grace that you are offering. That is God's grace, but it is coming through you, and you are offering that grace. How blessed to be aware that only love is real. Even if you aren't able to embrace it 100% and fly with it, accept it as deeply as possible. And as you accept the grace of God within you, blessings begin to be recognized more easily. Blessings are not rescue. Blessings are your natural state. The universe moves in blessings. Imagine that the immenseness of the universe is pouring love all the time. It's like having a giant telethon that takes up the entire universe, and love is being poured all the time, because that's all that love can do. But what is that love that is pouring? It's benevolence, it's kindness, compassion, comfort. The call to rest, the call to let yourself rest in the truth of God, in the truth of love, and to reject the belief in problems that are so easy to dance with. The teaching, let me recognize the problem so that it can be solved, is one of those mysteries of truth. How can I recognize the problem so it can be solved? And then to realize that the only problem is the belief of separation. That's the problem. And in the mysteries of love, there is no problem because we are not separate from God. We may think we are, we may feel that we are, we may affirm that we are, but we're not. We have never been separate from God. You cannot leave the source of your creation. You can't separate yourself from your own creation. So to accept that love that is pouring all the time, which is compassion, kindness, comfort, acceptance. It's not only pouring to you, it is meeting itself and awakening within you your remembering that you are all love and that you cannot be hurt. You can feel like it, it can look like it from the place of separation, but there is a deep, deep promise that calls to you. Take that leap of faith. You cannot be hurt, cannot be damaged, cannot lose. I was reading a poem from a saint, and I'm paraphrasing the poem, but it said, anytime something goes or seems to go awry, all that I say is, what? Not possible. And everything shifts. That beloved, that saint, was a beacon of light that was confident, sure, not in any way going to take the other road and say, you've deserted me, you've forgotten me, where am I? No. She said, what? Not possible. And everything would transform. The power of the mind that is God's mind is so powerful. It made an entire world of separation. That's a lot of power. And whether the power is being used for illusion or it's being used for love, it's the same power. But when it's used for love, it's God's creation. And you are that creation creating in the name of the divine. All in the glory of God. Create in the glory of God. And be astonished if something is tweaked and seems to be out of line. What? Not possible. Allow that strength to be the center of your heart. And be so glad that you have found and heard the call for love. And that all of the universe is serving you. The entire universe wants you to remember so that you can just come home. And so that you can be of that divine service 24/7. Because there's nothing else. Just love. Just love. And in this moment, not because there's the intention of love just now, but this sanctuary is filled with love. There's nothing else here. And someone can have a judgment or an opinion or react or whatever, and it disappears. Because it has no purpose. So there's nothing for it to stick to. It just disappears. Be comforted by the love that is here. Be comforted by the truth of love that is with you in every way. You can accept it or not accept it. But why not accept it? What? Not possible. Only love is real. And affirm within your heart that the life force of God is within you, and let it shine. The only presence that is actually here is the life force of God. Remembering that everything that is temporary is just exactly that, temporary. But the life force of God is eternal, and you are and live within that life force. Allow it. Embrace it. Walk with it. And let it lead you. In this moment. All the prayers that are sung, the music itself has a vibration that calls all the beings that originally brought the hymn. These are just prayers. But the healing comes through the notes, and the healing comes through the words. And to remember that it was a divine being that actually brought this prayer into manifestation because we are so loved. The manifestation of hymns, of prayers, is such a blessing. To realize that when these hymns are brought into manifestation, and when these particular hymns began to be brought into manifestation, they came to a man in Brazil who was called by the Blessed Mother to serve love, who did not read or write and had come from Africa. And he obeyed. He was called by the Blessed Mother, and she said, "You will open this path and you will sing. And you will sing in praise of truth." And he just said yes. Why not? My sense is that there were many times when he said, "Why me?" My sense of him was that there was a yes in him that had been waiting for lifetimes to be met by the Divine Mother. And he was ready with his yes. And we praise and thank each beloved throughout the ages that have said yes. And all that we are asked to do is to align with their yes and bring the yes from our hearts into manifestation with them. It's a blessing. It's a calling. And it's grace. And you have that grace of God's heart in your heart. When I feel this pain inside and I find nowhere to hide, Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. This sorrow now imprisons me. Somehow I need to be set free. Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. Heal me of my hurt and fear. Reveal the face of God so near. Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. The safety of a mother's care, for Jesus it was always there. Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. As I move toward the light, defend me from the dark of night. Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. Thank you for the love you give. In compassion for your Son I live. Mother, rain your love on me. 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 The master that received that message heard the mother's voice, listened to directions, listened to his instructions, followed with faith, and gave his existence. And everyone that followed him heard the call to follow into the heart of love. Thank God for every beloved who has said yes. I ask for comfort from the kings, from the heavens, the forest, and the sea. I ask for comfort from the queens to come and illuminate me. I ask for comfort from the princesses, from the heavens, the forest, and the sea. And I ask for comfort from the princes to come and illuminate me. I ask for comfort from the angels, from the heavens, the forest, and the sea. And I ask for comfort from the saints to come and illuminate me. Come and illuminate me. I'm not asking for too much. I'm asking for the power of the light of God to come and illuminate my awareness. And in that prayer, it's always answered. The only way that it isn't answered is by saying no. But who would say no to illumination? And you might as well say yes. Eventually, you're going to say yes, so you might as well say yes now. Come and illuminate me. Eu peço conforto às reis do seio da floresta do mar. Peço conforto às rainhas para nos iluminar. Eu peço conforto às príncipes do seio da floresta do mar. Peço conforto às princesas para nos iluminar. Eu peço conforto aos anjos do seio da floresta do mar. Peço conforto às princesas para nos iluminar. Every beloved has walked this earth in separation from the moment of incarnation. You looked at the body and said, wow, I'm separate. I'm over here, they're over there. I'm not one with them. And we bought the lie that this body says and proves that we are separate. And at the same time of buying that untruth, we bought the untruth that we will die and that death is inevitable. Untrue. A lie that needs to be rejected. I cannot die. You cannot die. You are the light of God. Your spirit is forever. And the spirit and your consciousness is really all that there is. The body will fade away and fall away. It was never you. Never you. You could look at the body in the mirror for hours and hours and hours, and you still won't be that body. Your divine spirit, your heart, your soul, your consciousness is what remains completely intact. That is the comfort. I ask for comfort. I ask for comfort from the saints, the angels, kings and the queens. I ask for comfort from them to come and illuminate into the truth that we live with them, that we are one with all angels, with all guides, with all saints, with all beings. And they live as the eternal with us, as one. One heart. I heard God laughing. Cast all your votes for dancing. I know the voice of depression still calls to you. I know those habits that can ruin your life still send their invitations. But you are with the friend now and look so much stronger. You can stay that way and even bloom. Keep squeezing drops of the sun from your prayers and work and music and from your companions' beautiful laughter. Keep squeezing drops of the sun from the sacred hands and glance of your beloved and my dear from the most insignificant movements of your own Holy Spirit. Learn to recognize the counterfeit coins that may buy you just a moment of pleasure, but then drag you for days like a broken man behind a farting camel. Not a pretty sight. You are with the friend now. Learn what actions of yours delight him. What actions of yours bring freedom and love? Whenever you say God's name, dear one, my ears wish my head was missing so they could finally kiss each other and applaud all your nourishing wisdom. Oh, keep squeezing drops of the sun from your prayers and work and music, and from your companions' beautiful laughter, and from the most insignificant movements of your own Holy Spirit. Now, sweet one, be wise. Cast all your votes for dancing. Dance with the divine. How easy it is to cast all your votes for dancing. But what the ego does is God calls you to dance, and the ego says, no, 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 no. You're not going to display yourself in peace and harmony and joy. You need to contain and look normal. Then what's the normal that you need to look? You need to look like you belong here, not here in the sanctuary, but here on this earth plane. And the ego would try to convince you that singing and dancing with God is foolish. And yet, it's what you're being called to do. When you are singing humming within, because you can't help it, that singing, that humming goes directly to God. It's like an email that is right there immediately. And when you're singing, humming, all the beloveds, all the beloved angels, all the beloved saints, they're all listening. They're all so happy to hear your singing, your humming, and to watch your dancing. God wants you to embrace the place within you that is happy. That God is not what you thought God was. What you thought God was was what has been brought and manifested into this world of judgment, the wrath of God, and the belief that there is a hierarchy to worth, and you have to meet these standards to be loved. No, excuse me, no, that isn't God. That was the story of everybody's life on earth. That you better behave and you better meet the mark, or else love is not offered. Because love within the world is not love. It's fear. Does that mean that no one has ever loved within this world? No. But to believe that there is judgment, to believe that there is levels and degrees that you have to somehow pass in order to be acceptable, all lies, all made up, has nothing to do with God. To accept that there is no judgment in God is to boggle the mind. In this world, with the mind that has been given to the ego, you cannot conceive of not being judged. You can't conceive of how it would be possible that there would be no judgment. Because in this world, that's what everything is based on. Now, it's not always called judgment. It's called opinions. It's called assessments. And it seems to be as if everybody was given a judgment card at the moment of incarnation. I want you to take this card and I want you to see how many people you can judge. And the more that you judge, the more you're elevated. That's the ego's distortion. The ego's distortion is you will gain worth through your judgment because it's called discernment. But it all means nothing. It all has nothing to do with love or truth. Imagine that nothing that you have ever done, and we've all walked many lifetimes doing many things that were not of love, out of fear, out of hatred, but that absolutely nothing that you have ever thought that you did has any impact at all. None of it is seen. None of it has been noted. None of it is held. None of it exists. It's totally fabricated. If there is no judgment in God, and I promise that there is no judgment in God, where would the judgment come from? There is no judgment in God. So the ego says, I think you should be a judger. I think it would help your journey here. And everybody believes it. Judge. Judge so that you know what you're dealing with. It is the most addictive element. It's an addiction. Judgment is an addiction. It's an addiction that drives and that has been used and been agreed with for so long since separation began that it's all legitimized within the world. And all of love is saying, let it go. There's no judgment in God. You have never been judged. And the truth is that if you were judged by 10,000 beloveds, you would still have no judgment, because judgment is part of the illusion. It's part of a lie that's been carried that is just made up. It's just fantasy. It has no value. It has no power. It has no truth. So then you can cast all your votes for dancing. And imagine if everybody is dancing and there isn't one opinion. Not an opinion, not an assessment, not an observation. That's a good one, observations. I'm just observing. No, I'm judging. That your dance is so perfect, it can never be judged. That your laughter is so perfect, cannot be judged. That your joy is so perfect that it can't be judged. That your kindness is so perfect that it can't be judged. No judgment. If you are not afraid of judgment, of being judged, the chances of judging are cut way, way down. It's the fear of being judged. But if you can accept that there is no judgment in God, and that nobody's judgment means anything, you can dance and you can rest, because there's no enemy. No enemy at all. I know the voice of depression still calls to you. I know those habits that can ruin your life still send their invitations. Yes, they do. They send their invitations. They come in all kinds of forms. They come in packages of coins, counterfeit coins, that entice you to pleasures in order to escape from being with yourself. They may buy you just a moment of pleasure, those counterfeit coins. Everybody knows the moments of pleasure when you try to get something because you feel deprived. But all of that's the lie too. To realize that the voice of depression that still calls to you has no power except the power that you're giving to it. To look at your situation consciously and make the decision that you are betrayed, or that you are lacking, or that you're a victim, none of that has any meaning in the truth. So the voice of depression still calls to you, but your voice is getting stronger and stronger with joy, with truth, and you can shake your finger and say, I'm not buying it anymore. I have been depressed for too many lifetimes, and now joy is being offered. And that's the choice. Joy, depression, for what? You cannot be unfairly treated. You cannot be betrayed. You cannot be hurt. You cannot be changed from your exquisite, perfect self that is the light of God. Can it be that simple to heal? Yes, it can. It can, to give over your beliefs to the hands of God and say, heal my mind, heal my heart. I don't want these anymore. And love heals. The power of love transforms. This is the prayer that is in this poem. The realization that love is all that exists. I know those habits that can ruin your life, they still send their invitations. But your voice and your intention gets stronger and stronger to say, no, I'm not buying it again. It's like the addiction is loosening of the belief of pain and suffering, which is an addiction. And it's like walking past a bar when you've been sober, and the pull to go into the bar just pulls just enough. But you say, no thanks, not interested. I'm not accepting those habits anymore that are sending their invitations of pain and suffering. I'm not accepting it. But you are with the friend now and look so much stronger, because that is where the strength comes from God. It is our strength. Oh, my Father, give me strength, give me courage on this road to be a child of yours on earth and walk the path that the Master showed. And that prayer is answered. My Father, give me strength. And strength comes. The lie is the game that the ego plays. It says, oh, God forgot about me and I'm not worthy. Somebody else may be, but I'm not. This is not humility. This is arrogance that would say, I know better than God what God is capable of. How could I possibly say God would pass over me? When God created this being of love and sees it in complete equality with all love. There's nothing in love that parses love. Love has to flow. Love has to expand. By its nature, it has to. Keep squeezing drops of the sun from your prayers and work and music, and from your companions' beautiful laughter. Squeezing drops of the sun from your prayers. Prayer, it is a direct connection with the divine. It's because your intention is fully present as possible, and you are communing with the divine through your prayer, affirming truth, affirming that you're on board, affirming that God is always listening to you, always hearing you. The truth of your prayer is heard before it's uttered. Before it's even in your mind, God has received what you wanted to offer. There is nothing that is not known to God of truth. And at the same time, nothing is seen of what you have made up. Nothing. You could have been spouting, I hate God, I hate God, I hate God for lifetime after lifetime. It means nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's just blah, 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 blah. Made up. And time to let it go. To realize that whatever you accept into your mind is your perception of reality. It becomes true for you. And that is why every master says the same thing. Pay attention to what you are allowing in your mind, because what you allow in your mind is either pain for you or joy. And there's nothing in the truth of God that wants you to be in pain. So if you don't accept the fantasies of the past, you're on the road back to love. But those lies from the past, they do have to be rejected because they're made up. Not because they're evil, not because they're poison, but because they're illusion. And they block the road to love. They take your attention. The self that needs protection is not real. How simple is that? The self that needs protection in your mind, what we thought we knew, is not real. All of that time spent with nervousness, with fear running through, with upsets of all kinds, of staying awake at night, worried about whatever it is that we worried about, all of that is not real. That self, there's no protection needed because the self is not real. And your true self cannot be harmed. Not harmed at all. Every thought you have contributes to truth or illusion. Every thought. Now just hold this for a minute. Every thought that you have either contributes to truth or illusion. So it does make perfect sense, alignment, to be conscious about what is allowed to be in the mind, what thoughts you want to have manifesting in your life. Because the power is there, the power of love or the power of fear. It's one or the other. If you take the habit of illusion and just let the mind go in its trance, it's painful. That's why beloveds want to stay busy. You know, as long as you're busy, you're not aware of the fear. But not realizing that the busyness has nothing to do with the thoughts that are being chosen. And love is calling to say, choose again. Choose again as quickly as possible. When you have any thought come in that is not of peace, choose again. Even if you just can't think of anything to fill your mind with other than God is love. Only love is real. I am one with God. If you have to have a mantra that you keep saying in order to keep the insanity of the past the habit of the past, keeping it over there. No, I'm focused on God. I'm focused on love. Learn to recognize the counterfeit coins that may buy you a moment of pleasure and then drag you for days like a broken man behind a farting camel. A broken man behind a farting camel. I think no one wants to be that as an alternative to love. But everything within this teaching is choice. Choosing love or choosing illusion. And all the while God is saying, I don't want you to suffer. I want your happiness. I want peace for you, but I can't force it on you if you want to suffer. But the truth also recognizes that to choose suffering is insanity. It's just insanity. And the more that you can see insanity for what it is, the easier it becomes to choose love. And choose it all the time. And what is it to choose love? It's to choose peace, harmony, joy, kindness, gentleness, honesty. Just for a moment, imagine that you would have no opinions about anybody or anything. What would you do? Dance, I hope. Sing. Sing and dance so that the divine will materialize. The self that needs protection is not real. Every fantasy, every illusion, be it of love or hate, deprives you of truth. And God does not want you to be deprived. Sharing love is heaven here on earth. That is what is here, right here, heaven on earth. No loss, nothing missing. You are with the friend now. Right now, God is with you. Learn what actions of yours delight him. What actions of yours bring freedom and love. Consciousness allows that to make the connection between, oh, that thought was painful. That thought was filled with bitterness, was filled with judgment and vengeance of some kind. It does not delight the heart. It will not bring you any delight. It may bring you a momentary hit of revenge of some kind, but it stays in the heart as a bitterness until it's tossed out, until it's rejected. And there's no bitterness in love. There's no regret. There's no longing for the past to have been different. It's just the realization that this moment right now is love. Completely love. Whenever you say God's name, my ears wish my head was missing so that they could finally kiss each other and applaud all of your nourishing wisdom. Everything is for love. Keep squeezing drops of the sun from your prayers and work and music and from your companions' beautiful laughter. to realize that God is walking with you everywhere you go. And you can hear the laughter of God in your heart. And you can join in that laughter. You can join in that joy. There's nothing that God wants to keep you from experiencing all the blessings of the truth of what you are. You settle for so little. This is a teaching that is so essential. You settle for so little when so much is offered. Leap into the expanse. Don't settle. Don't take the crumb off the floor. Everything is yours. There is nothing lacking at all. Simply do this. Be still and lay aside all thoughts of what you are and what God is. All concepts that you have learned about the world, all images that you hold about yourself. Do this. Give to God all the images that you have made about yourself. How do you see yourself? You see yourself as a body? Or are you willing to be shown a deeper reflection of yourself? Don't settle. All images you hold about yourself, be surrendered to God. Empty your mind of everything. Everything. Well, what are you going to do with when it's empty? Your heart's going to lead, and God's wisdom is going to start filling the mind. Empty your mind of everything it thinks is either true or false. Well, that just about covers everything. Good or bad, of every thought it judges worthy, and all the ideas of which it is ashamed. All the ideas of which it is ashamed. This is the healing place. This is the divine hospital. To let the shining light see everything that has ever been held in shame. Hold on to nothing. Do not bring with you one thought the past has taught, nor one belief you've ever learned before from everything. Forget this world and come wholly empty unto God. How amazing is it to have a direct roadmap to emptying yourself of all that caused you pain? Because that's what this is. It's to release everything that has caused you pain, to free yourself of all that's been made of the past and come empty of all thought. Simply do this. How exquisite is it to have words given that give you complete direction. We could have wandered. I could have wandered. I could have wandered for centuries looking for this direction. But it was given because it was perfect. So why not enter into this and embrace it, and with the intention that this is my healing. This is my way home. Be still and surrender everything. How perfect. Only be quiet. Be quiet as you study what is in the way. And to me, the most impressive is to bring all judgment and ideas of shame and let it all go. This is where union can occur. Because when you don't have any personal opinions or shame or anything from the past, you're free to love. You're free to extend that love that you are. And it's your joy. It's your natural state of love. It's who you are. It's what you are. Thank God. Thank God.